Called My Dentist, and it's, I don't know what it is, but every few years I write stories about dentists. I really don't know why. I can't really figure that out. But it's called My Dentist. I think what kind of prompted this story was that I was actually sitting in the dentist, so I was in the dentist's chair, and the dentist got a phone call. I was sitting there, and it sounded really odd on the phone. There was something going on there. I was trying to figure it out, so I kind of took it from there. And he kind of left me sitting there with my, with that thing going, I took that thing out and he said, "Very good. How are you as an assistant?" Okay, my dentist. He answers the phone and then listens for a long time. "Yes," he finally says, "I understand." Then he hangs up. "My goodness," he says, looking inside my mouth. "How long has it been? I feel like I'm visiting a town, an old decaying town. I ignored one reminder," I tell him. "I remember thinking, how bad can it be if I just missed one reminder? I don't send reminders anymore," he says. "People ignore them anyway." "You mean patients?" I ask. "Yes, my patients," he says, "who decide for themselves when the pain is bad enough, when they know they can't hold out another day, and when they call me, there's desperation in their voice." "Is this you, Mr. Zimberg?" I ask. "Saul, is that you?" "Why, it doesn't sound anything like you." "Help, doctor," he says. "Please, I need help." "But Saul," I tell him, "I'm booked. I'm booked till December. It's July, you see. You should have answered your reminder back in April." And the whole time he's telling me this, he's scraping and knocking and moving my tongue about this way and that, inside and out. "You have a funny tongue," he says. "Anyone else ever tell you you've got a funny tongue?" "Well, one time my wife," I say. "Of course," he says, "that would make sense. Look, if you're interested, I can always send you to a tongue man. I know a lot of tongue men if you're interested." "Maybe," I say, "if you think it's..." The phone rings. "Dangerous," I say. "Yes," he says, not to me, but into the phone. "I do not understand. I just don't. It seems I've done everything you've asked, and still..." "You won't have to do that. It will be there. I assure you. It will still be there," he says. He hangs up. He comes back to me and tells me to keep my mouth closed. Just for a while. "Trust me," he says. "I'm your fucking dentist. Of all the dentists out there, you chose me for a reason. Am I right?" "Yes," I say, though I don't really remember why I chose him. "If there's a problem," I tell him, "I can always..." "Always what?" he asks. "Floss? Is that your solution?" "No," I say. "Well, let's hope not. Because you are way beyond that now." Way beyond that. We all are. The phone rings again. "Angela," he calls out to his assistant. "Yes, doctor," she says. "Do not answer that phone." "But what if it's you-know-who?" She asks this as if she knows you-know-who. A lot better than she really ought to know you-know-who. But the phone keeps ringing, and it stops. "Damn it," he shouts. "Do you think..." Then it rings again. "Answer it," he yells at Angela. "Hurry." She answers it. "Dr. Liverstone's office?" "No, yes, no, yes, of course you're not. We are. I'm sorry. Yes, this is Dr. Liverstone's office. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to ask it as a question. Of course I know it is. It just came out that way. Dr. Liverstone's office. Dr. Liverstone's office. Is that better?" "Oh, thank you. It will not happen again. Thank you for understanding." "Yes, the dentist is right here. It's for you," she says to Dr. Liverstone, handing him the phone. At first, Dr. Liverstone listens, but says nothing. Then he says, smiling at Angela, "Dr. Liverstone speaking? You're damn right I know who I am. Look, I told you, I don't know. About 8 or so. Just keep her tied up. Are you good at knots? I have a feeling you're not very good at knots. Sure she's getting loose. What do you think? Look, I've got a patient here with his mouth open. I'll talk to you later." I picture other patients as well in other rooms, all of their mouths still open, waiting for his word to close them again. I wonder how many he has never told to close their mouths, who walk the streets now still afraid, still waiting for his word, whose mouths remain wide open, swallowing flies, teaching, shopping, applying for jobs, looking like zombies, too afraid to close them. He hangs up the phone. Women, he says. Just like that, women. Very neutral, very matter of fact, very non-judgmental, as if he forgets to be judgmental just at the moment when he should be judgmental the most. Yes, I agree, feeling safe to agree, offering my own non-judgmental take on this topic. Women, I say. You sound bitter, he says to me. Are you in pain? No, I say, quite the contrary. I've never felt better in my life. Ah, he says, not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. We'll have to do something about that. That's okay, I tell him. I'll try to live without the pain. But you won't, he says. You won't live without it very long. That's just when the devil likes to go in for the kill. When we've never felt better in our lives. We'll have to do something about that. For the first time, unconsciously perhaps, he begins to finger his drill. But then the phone rings. He answers it. He listens for a long time. Then he says, it's not my fault. I warned you. I told you she'd get away. Then he hangs up. I utter. Is right, he says. He says. Case in point. Exactly what I'm talking about. A man goes weeks pain-free. He thinks everything is just peachy keen. And you know what? I don't answer. You know what? He asks again. No, I say, why? It's not, he explains. Okay, I say. Don't patronize me, he says. The phone rings. He says, yes, 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 no, no, yes, I don't understand. Why are you bringing that up again? I told you I would. Yes, understood. No, it's nothing. Just some sensitivity. It won't have to be pulled. I understand your concern. All right, we'll have it pulled. Why do I use the passive? What are you, a fucking English professor? Because we're all going to do it. Me, my assistant, the schmuck who runs the hardware store down the block, the guy in the chair with his mouth open, the guy with that chainsaw butchering half of Texas. All of us are going to pull that motherfucker out from its roots like it's a big old oak tree. Comprendez-vous? Okay, sure, that's up to you. It's always up to you. I understand you want more time. Sure, we all want more time. Good luck. Oh, and you might want to write Marathon Man. He hangs up. Then he tells me to open my mouth again. Why? So I open it again. This time as wide as one of those hippopotamuses with a stick in its mouth. Good, he says. Then he looks inside. It reminds me of a thief casing out someone's house when they're not home, or as in my case, tied up in the basement. He says, interesting. A little wider, he says. Ah, there it is. I knew it was there someplace. The SOB was hiding. Can't hide from me, you little bastard. I'll find you eventually. You can't go far. Not far at all. Okay, he says to me. You can close up now. I'll see you in 6 months. I thought about it for a moment, and then I thought maybe someone else, and most of the time that meant me, would be satisfied about leaving, about being dismissed by the dentist for another 6 months. But I wasn't leaving without further explanation. It sounded like you found something back there, I said. What about it? Nothing yet, he tells me. Nothing to worry about. Fine, I said, and I'll just, yet, he suddenly shouts. Nothing yet. Yes, I asked. Well, if not yet. When? Yes, when, I ask. You'll let me know, he says. You mean, yes. For a while, who knows how long, things will be going along swimmingly. And then one morning, you'll feel a slight ache. Oh, it's nothing, you'll say to yourself. Just a little sensitivity. Nothing serious. Nothing worth calling that crazy dentist about. But then the ache will become a pain. The pain a consistent throbbing. And so on and so forth, until one day, you'll wake up with your mouth the size of a football. How will I know when to call? Should I call when it's an ache, or should I wait till it becomes a pain? Or something between an ache and a pain, or a pain and a throbbing, or an inconsistent throbbing and a consistent throbbing? You'll have to figure those things out for yourself. But you must know, let's just say I'm holding this one hostage. I have the right to hold at least one tooth hostage per visit. I mean, after all, you only come once a year. Hostage, I ask, what do you mean? I could just as well go to a different dentist, I tell him. That would be like going to a different kidnapper, he says. You really want someone who has never seen the inside of your mouth before? All its ins and outs, its nooks and crannies? Tell you what to do with that tooth? I'll know before you do when you need to come in. Everyone's mouth is my mouth. I feel your pain. I wake up in the middle of the night with my tooth throbbing, and I say to myself, it's probably Goldberg. I told that bastard he was due for a good throbbing if he didn't come in. I'll come in when it's an ache then. Would you really? If you say I should. What about now, I ask him. What can you do now? A preemptive strike, you mean? Like maybe pull it out? Is that what you want? If that's what it takes. Takes for what? To avoid pain. If it only would. Why wouldn't it? Think of the poor tooth next to it. And the poor tooth next to him, and so on and so forth. Look, it's like a set of dominoes in there. One goes, they all go. That is God's plan. Whatever you do, do not try to be the dentist here. And the phone rings. All right, I'll get the 2-ply. Look, are you the only one entitled to a mistake? Sometimes other people make them too. Look, it's untraceable. There's no way they can trace it. What else do you want? 2-ply? What else is there? Is there really still 1-ply out there? Pot roast? Fine. Gluten-free? Oh no, that's a different matter. That's where I draw the line. Hello? Hello? Are you still there? No? Fine. But you will not have it your way. Then he hangs up. When he comes back, I think about getting on his good side, showing him how much I appreciate him as my dentist. How's the family, I ask. A mess, he says. My daughter is missing, and some guy keeps calling, claiming he kidnapped her. But I know he's lying. I know it's her boyfriend. I recognize his voice, and I can hear it giggling in the background. This is how she gets her thrills. And who am I to deprive her of her thrills? And besides, at least I think she's still not on drugs. Yet. Yet, I agree. And your wife, I ask? Also not yet. But just as bad. Lets the dog escape. Ties her up with a string like she's tying up a cake box. Sorry, I said. She'll come back. She always does. Your wife? No, the dog. The dog is smarter than all of us. And my tooth, I say? What about it? I decided you don't have to hold it hostage anymore. Of course I do. No, you don't. I'm handing it over to you. Pain and all. My pain is your pain. The moment I feel the ache, I will begin to think of you and how I am not alone. How you too feel my pain. Feel, yes, he says. But not feel. Do you know what I mean? No, I say. I mean, not really, he says. Of course not. There are too many of you. I understand. To feel anything. I don't believe that. You're making a mistake, a terrible mistake, he says. Thank you anyway for being my dentist, I say. It's my job. No, you're a good dentist, I tell him. And what, he asks. A good man, I say. You're wrong, he says. If I were a good man, I'd kill my daughter's boyfriend and never let my wife near the dog. I don't think so, I tell him. See you in 6 months? Yes, 6 months, he says. Unless what, I ask. There is a long pause. Then he says, look, I think you should know something. Yes, I ask. Sometimes, he says, there is a moment between ache and pain. Yes, I say. When there is no ache and there is no pain. Yes, I say. And no one can tell you when that comes, not even your dentist. Yes, I say. But you'll know when it comes. Yes, I say. Because, he says, it is the moment when not just your teeth, but the whole world, all of existence will hang in the balance. Yes, I say. So you agree with everything I'm saying, he says. Yes, I say. How else would I know when to come back at all? How else would I know when a reminder becomes a warning a threat? A threat becomes something much too late. Yes, he says, I understand. Yes, I say, you do understand. The phone rings. Yes, he says. Then there's a long pause. Yes, I understand, he says. I'll do whatever you want, but just let me talk to her. Hello? Hello, is that you? Are you all right? Has he done anything bad to you? Good. Okay, so I just thought you should know that in case he lets you go, dinner is going to be at 8. And the dog, yes, the dog will be waiting for you at the front door as always. And yes, we're having pot roast, gluten-free. Yes, of course you can bring him. Why the hell not? After all, he's part of the family, isn't he? Yep, so that's my dentist. That's the fun part about making things up. Because, he wouldn't tell me what the conversation was about.